All right. All right. Welcome everyone to Prime Spine Consulting. This is our weekly live stream, 4 p.m. Eastern, every single Thursday. I'm going to be live in the group with topics on how you can grow your personal injury business. My name is Mark Slater. I've been a practicing chiropractor, I'll explain that in a second, since 1998, and all I've done is personal injury. Okay, so let me tell you how I got into personal injury. My first practice I built back where I'm from in my hometown of Birmingham, Alabama. The practice is still there. It's called Oxmoor Chiropractic on Oxmoor Road in Birmingham, Alabama. Let me tell you the reason that I got into PI. The reason that I got into personal injury was because and I know this because I did a survey, but even though I did a survey, I just know this. 99% of citizens in Alabama have Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama. Okay, so Blue Cross Blue Shield, great insurance company for them. For chiropractic, when I was practicing, the annual maximum payout for chiropractic was $400 a year. $400, that's it. Whether it's 2 visits or 20 visits, $400 is all you're getting from Blue Cross Blue Shield. Okay, so a bunch of chiropractors got together and they sued Blue Cross and Blue Shield because for whatever wasn't enough, it's not fair, and they won. The chiropractors won. They beat the insurance company. Guess what they won? Blue Cross and Blue Shield now pays for chiropractic visits $600 per calendar year. Some big victory. So I decided I'm going after personal injury. I can charge what I want. I can do what I want for the patient as long as it's ethical and it's the right thing to do for the benefit of the patient. No one's going to be breathing down my neck saying 10 visits a year, 20 visits a year, 5 visits a month. You can't do this. You can only do 2 modalities. Personal injury, you can do what is best for the patient to get them better. So I went after personal injury, and that's all I've ever done. So that's me in a nutshell. So I sold that practice in only 2 years, and I had a big profit. And so what did I do? I bought a practice here in Atlanta, Georgia. Why did I buy a practice in Atlanta, Georgia? Well, my wife at the time was from here, number one, and Georgia had 70 car accidents per hour in the state of Georgia. Not Atlanta, but the state of Georgia. Now, those are pre-COVID numbers. Well, why are you bringing up pre-COVID numbers? Well, at the Department of Transportation, and you can get this from your state transportation website, they'll give you the stats, but they're 3 or 4 years behind. So 70 car accidents per hour in the state of Georgia. And this is a lean state, meaning very few people have med pay, very few people have, there's no PIP here. So nobody has PIP, where everyone's waiting to get paid, but there's no shortage of chiropractors and doctors and attorneys here in Atlanta, here in Georgia, pursuing personal injury business. So that's all I focused on. So that's a little bit about me. So I bought a practice here, had it for 17 years. I had an MD there. So when I said I've been a practicing chiropractor, well, I've been a licensed chiropractor. I had MDs doing all the work for me in Atlanta. I was out in the market, shaking hands with attorneys, talking to them, handling the objections, learning what made them tick, learning their pain points, and figuring out how to handle their objections. And that's what we're gonna focus on here, is handling objections. So in my private program, what my doctors do is we do kind of a 2-pronged approach, okay? My doctors are using the power of social media, Facebook and LinkedIn, to reach out to 1,000 attorneys a month. Have you met 1,000 attorneys this month? Have you reached out to 1,000 attorneys? That's what my private members are doing. And they're getting in conversations online using this magic little rectangle. Because when we use our social media platforms on our phone, you can do it on your desktop or laptop as well. But when you use Facebook on the app on your phone, or LinkedIn, the app on your phone, and you send direct messages to attorneys, There's no gatekeeper on here. There's no one filtering your message. The attorney is going to see it. And because you're sending out 1,000 a month, it's a certain amount every day, you don't need everybody to respond. You just need some. But it's guaranteed that the person you're messaging on Facebook and LinkedIn is going to see your message. Doesn't mean they're going to respond, but they're guaranteed to see it. Can't say that with a phone call, cold calling. It's not 1982. And you can't say that with email. Business emails have about a 15% or less open rate, meaning 85% of the people that you send out a business email to, delete it right away. So we're in a digital society. If you learn how to use the power of social media and using the direct messages on social media, you're going to grow your practice faster than the average Joe chiropractor or doctor calling lawyers, trying to set up lunches. I mean, how many? They probably do 4 a month, lunches 1 a week. My private clients get in conversations with 50 people a day, or attempt to get into conversations with 50 attorneys a day, every day, with consistency. And again, there's 2 things of paramount importance in your marketing: massive numbers and consistency. And most of that can be done on here if you know how to do it. Okay, so they're reaching out to these attorneys are responding, and my members are getting in conversations, right? Conversations about how they're trying to grow their relationship and how they focus on PI in their practice, and asking attorneys if they need a doctor that focuses on PI in blank. Blank is my area of town: DeLand, Florida; Jacksonville, Florida; Smyrna, Georgia; El Paso, Texas. You get it. I'm looking to build my relationships in Euless, Texas, okay, or all of Dallas. Okay, well, when you get into these conversations, you're going to get questions from attorneys or objections. Okay, we're going to get there in a second. The other part of my private program is, if you don't already have one, or even if you do, I can help you hire, train, coach, optimize, and track, and that's the part that's missing: tracking a full-time marketing liaison for your practice. Somebody that's dedicated to being out of your office every day, in the market, walking in the law firms, walking into urgent cares, walking into MRI facilities, and creating relationships that will fill your practice with personal injury patients. But if you just send a warm body in there, and they don't know the lexicon of personal injury, they don't know lien, letter of protection, PIP insurance, med pay, they don't know the services and modalities that you offer. Do they know what TBI stands for? If they don't know our language, it's not a good look for you or your practice. So my program helps you train these people so that you have a highly trained person walking in the law firm, so that they can have a conversation with an attorney, case manager, paralegal. Create that relationship for you as a trusted resource for your patients, or a trusted resource to get PI patients in the door, right? Throw this myth out. It has to be a one-for-one referral relationship between you and the law firm. That is bullshit. Attorneys consider doctors that send them one for every one that they send the doctor a unicorn. How many unicorns do you see every day? Not a whole lot. Okay, so we're going to handle that objection in just a second. But that's how we get massive numbers, and that's how we do it consistently. We do it every day. Okay, if you're a procrastinator, or if you're somebody that says, I don't have 30 minutes for you, I don't care who you hire as a coach, or I don't care what you're doing in your practice, it's not going to grow. You got to lean in to action, right? So if you're a procrastinator, you need to learn some new habits to squash down your procrastination habit and start learning an action habit. So there's things that I teach: habit stacking, doing little things at a time to build your habit muscle, right? Reaching out to 50 attorneys a day on social media. Yeah, it's hard. Sure is. It's hard when you don't know how to do it. But when you have a plan and you execute that plan and you're consistent And you do it with repetition. Repetition is the mother of skill. You'll get better. Because at the first couple of weeks, your brain is going to be screaming at you to stop. This sucks. I'm not good at it. I don't want to do this anymore. Keep going, because that separates the winners from the losers. Okay? So massive numbers and consistency online. And then let's hire a marketing liaison and train them and track them. So if they're out there walking into 10 offices a day, who did they meet? Name of the attorney. Did they meet the case manager? What's the case manager's name? What are their email addresses? What were the notes that you took while you were in there? And I just did a webinar for my private clients today about gifts, right? Well, I don't want to get on a tangent, but you have a marketing liaison walking into 10 offices a day. Could be medical offices too. You can get referrals from the medical community. Most medical doctors, general practitioners, primary care doctors, they want nothing to do with medical legal cases. But you can't walk in there like this. Hey, I know you don't do PI. Send me all your PI cases. Everybody does that. You got to be different. You got to stand out. Let me give you an example, because I was talking about gifts. I didn't want to get on a tangent, but let me tell you what I mean. So if you have notes on an attorney, so I have an attorney friend here, and I have a relationship with him. I don't have a practice anymore. I'm a full-time consultant. But the relationship still goes on just because I don't practice. I still talk to all these attorneys. I'm friends with them. If I still had a practice, they'd probably be sending me cases. But as I was talking to this attorney, he's a practicing Muslim. Well, somebody sent him a gift of alcohol this week. It's Ramadan. That's a terrible gift, because Ramadan is a fasting holiday for the Muslims. And this specific attorney, he doesn't drink anyway. Okay, horrible gift. That doesn't do anything to the attorney. Like, the monetary value doesn't matter. It's the thoughtfulness of the gift. Let me give you another example. Somebody else sent him dates, the little fruit dates for Ramadan. A box of dates may cost $15, $20, but he remembered that, and he's going to do business with that, whether it was an attorney that sent him that or a chiropractor. That $20 gift is memorable because it's thoughtful, right? So when I say track your marketing liaison, that liaison also has to take notes about attorneys, not necessarily their religious affiliation, but you know what I'm talking about. Do they like the Bulldogs or do they like the Gators? Are they, do their kids play lacrosse or do they play soccer? Are they baseball fans or are they football fans? Do they like to hunt and fish, or do they like to water ski and snow ski, right? If you know this about, it's a relationship, right? Don't you want to know about the person that you have a relationship with? Like I tell my clients that I want you to think of personal injury marketing like a dating game. You're going to go on dates with a lot of attorneys. You don't have to marry any of them, right? But you're going to go on dates. Not everyone's going to like you. Sorry. If you want everyone to like you, stop practicing and go sell ice cream. Then everyone will like you. But even if you sell ice cream, people are still going to hate you or not like you. Well, I'm gluten-free. Oh, you don't have Heath Bar chocolate chunk crunch, right? So, that just doesn't exist. You have to get used to rejection. But when you have massive numbers, rejection feels like this. I don't want to work with you either. There are so many attorneys out there that need to know you exist and that you focus on PI. You just have to have a plan to go find. Okay, so let's get to the meat of what we want to talk about today, handling some objections. So I'm going to share my screen here. We're going to cover some of these objections that I asked you to give me in my post here. So some of those were, you send me one and I'll send you one. Okay, let me tell you how this is so problematic if an attorney tells you this. This kind of sounds like patient brokering, right? It kind of sounds like a deal. You send me one, I'll send you one. That's patient brokering. That's illegal in a lot of states, and it's problematic. And if an attorney tells you that, they're probably not busy. I'm serious. Because I showed the stats to my private members. I may have shared it here. No, I shared it in a comment. I'll share it with you guys too if you weren't there for that. Scroll down here. Yeah. So this is from a company called FileVine. They're a software company, and they deal with attorneys. They track all these data points. So this is cases per referral source for attorneys. Let me blow this up a little bit. Okay. Referrals from the medical community, 128 out of almost 3,000. Let's see what that is. Bear with me a second. 128, that's how many referrals they got from the medical chiropractic community, divided by 2920. That's 4% of their overall injury cases are referred in from the medical community. If attorneys had to rely on chiropractors and medical doctors to send them PI cases, they would have to drive Uber on the side. So they're not really looking for cases for you. They're just trying to throw that out there because, listen, they're trying to build their business too. But let me share this with you. Without your notes, without your documentation, without your diagnoses, without your skills, without your narrative, and without your bill, there is no case because these attorneys don't know how to adjust or treat people medically. So they have to send the people somewhere. Send me one, I'll send you one. It doesn't work. Let me expound on that. Okay, so there's not just a magical thing you can regurgitate that'll handle the objection, but I want you to understand the marketing landscape. Listen, Mr. Attorney, I do get unattached cases on occasion, but I send my unattached cases to attorneys that I know are going to protect my bill as much as humanly possible, and they're going to send me one or two in return for my unattached case. Okay, so let me give you some context about why that is so powerful. When these attorneys market, right, Google pay-per-click ads, Facebook ads, let me share this with you. Talking about Google pay-per-click ads, you're going to love this. Car accident lawyer near me. So let's say they're in this Google auction and they're paying for this keyword, car accident lawyer near me. And let's say this is the attorney's ad. If I were to click on this guy's ad, he is going to be charged $124 if I click on that, right? Cost per click, CPC, $124. 10 clicks a day is about $1,200 times 30 days. I was looking at $35,000 to $40,000 of marketing just in Google pay-per-click. So when you add in TV, radio, billboards, possibly, they have a very high, let's call it $100,000 a month marketing budget. Okay, I'm giving you context so that you can tell this story to attorneys because I know the stats. Okay, so if they have a $100,000 marketing budget and they get 50 PI clients that month, they have a $2,000 acquisition cost, and that's an industry standard in PI marketing for attorneys. $1,500 to $2,000 as an acquisition cost. So when they send you the case, they're already $2,000 in the hole. Okay, don't feel sorry for them. They're going to get 33 to 40% of the settlement. You are going to get your total bill paid, which may be $5,000, maybe $10,000 at the most. But if they get a $100,000 settlement, they're getting $30,000. Okay. So that's why you're going to tell them when I get unattached cases, I send them to attorneys that I know are going to protect my bill at 100%. I want to have a long-term relationship with you, but you attorneys dominate the marketing. You don't see chiropractic TV commercials, chiropractic billboards when you drive down the freeway because the attorneys dominate the marketing. I would love to send you one for one, but financially, I just can't compete with all your cohorts in marketing for PI cases. Okay, so the one for one, you're talking to the wrong attorney, and there are thousands of them in your town, in your state. Okay, doesn't matter where the attorney is. They market all over the state. It only matters where you are because they're going to get a client that lives or works near your office, but that attorney firm is 200 miles away. Okay, these attorneys never see their clients. some of the time. They're going to mail them a DocuSign, email them a DocuSign contract, and mail them a settlement check. You're going to see them in person 3, maybe 4 times a week for the first few weeks. You know the drill. Okay, so that's how I want you to handle. You send me one, I'll send you one. And I wanted to give you some context, because it's not just regurgitating, just something out of your mouth. It's understanding and having a conversation so that you can better handle that objection. So let's go back up here. You send me one, I'll send you one. All right. Here's one. Hey, Dr. Chiropractor, would you just bill their health insurance on this PI case? Now, I don't want you to say this, but if you wanted more commercial insurance patients, you wouldn't be having lunch or Zoom calls with attorneys, right? You're not looking for commercial insurance. But what these attorneys don't understand, they don't understand your contracts with Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, Aetna, Cigna. They don't understand that if you violate that contract, you can get kicked out of the network. So you can tell the attorney, yeah, I can do that, but because I'm in network with this insurance company, I'm going to have to ask for the patient's copay every time they come in, which may be $50. And if I'm going to see them 3 times a week, they're going to have to pay me $600 a month if I see them 3 times a week for the first 4 weeks. And if they have a deductible, I'm required to collect a deductible payment too. So if I bill their health insurance and your client is not willing to pay that copay 3 times a week, it's going to cause gaps in care, missed appointments. So that's why when we have PI cases, we don't bill health insurance, because it's problematic. Okay. We're in a state where there's PIP or the patient has med pay. We're going to bill that. It's called med pay. It's not called law pay. That's your money to bill if the patient has med pay on their car insurance. So I'm happy to bill the health insurance, but I'm going to have to collect copays. I'm going to have to collect the deductible if it hasn't been met for this calendar year, and your patient may not like that. Okay, this is not a relationship that you want to get into by doing that. Go find more attorneys. Okay, again, if you wanted more health insurance patients, you wouldn't be having lunch with attorneys. Okay, so that's problematic too. They're asking you really to break the rules. So that should be kind of a signal to you. Is this guy ethical? Like, they're meeting you, you're meeting them. You're trying to understand what makes them tick, and vice versa. So if they're asking you to do that, that doesn't sound too ethical to me. It's an injury case, or they shouldn't be using their health insurance for an accident. Okay. All right, we'll handle this one too. And I love this one. So we have marketers walking in to law firms, and they get to meet the attorney, and the attorney just walks out there and goes, yeah, we don't use chiropractors. How do you handle that objection? So I'm going to help you. This is an incredible way to handle an objection for anything, not just that, but this question specifically definitely works with this objection handling phrase. If somebody says something to you that just sounds so off the wall or so out of left field, and just sounds crazy, like we don't work with chiropractors, go, what makes you say that? What makes you say that? You just volleyed the ball over to their side of the court, and now I got to answer that question. Okay, they're going to give you some bullshit response that isn't going to make any sense. Maybe we only use orthopedic surgeons. I go, oh, do you take soft tissue cases? Because what is an orthopedic surgeon going to do with a soft tissue case? Right? Oh, you must be catastrophic. Do you only work with motorcycle or big rig 18-wheeler cases, like catastrophic injuries? Yes. Okay, well, that makes sense. We're probably not going to be a good fit unless you get soft tissue cases, because as a chiropractor, that's what we focus on, like soft tissue injuries from motor vehicle accidents. Okay. We don't work with chiropractors. What makes you say that? Like, I'm shocked. What makes you say that? Let them tell you, right? They may tell you, oh yeah, we already have a chiropractor that works in your area that we use, but thanks for stopping by. So if you ever get that one, I want you to go, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you use a chiropractor for your soft tissue cases. Let me ask you this, just out of curiosity. Tell me what you like about working with that firm, with that medical group or that chiropractic group, and let them tell you, because it gives you ammunition to fire back at them. Okay, so tell me what you like about working with that chiropractic office. Great. Hey, let me ask you this too. If there was one or two things that you could improve or that you would want them to improve on in their relationship with you, what would it be? This is magical because they're going to go, whoa, they take so long to get records to us. We love them. We love their diagnoses, their record, but they take so long to get their records to us. Now this is your opportunity. In our office, it is our policy to get medical records 72 hours after a request, right? So ask better questions to get more conversation going, right? So even if you get totally shut down, oh, we already have somebody in that area that we use. Say, great, tell me what you like about using them. Tell me what's so great about their office. And then follow that up with, there's one or two things you would like to improve in your relationship with them, maybe something that they do or don't do. What would that be? They'd love to tell you. People love to gossip. It's not healthy, but people love to do it, and they like to, talk and judge people. But we're doing it because we want to understand, and it opens up more conversations, right? They don't ever want an MRI. Just giving you another example. Well, we do an MRI. We try to get an MRI 2 to 6 weeks after the accident. And by the way, that is very important because I was in a law seminar with over 200 attorneys, and the majority of them said if their client doesn't want an MRI, they're not injured enough to take them as a case. So I want you to remember that. If the client doesn't want an MRI or thinks they don't need it, they're not injured enough for me. That's how big time attorneys think about their clients that don't want an MRI. Okay, so we have a whole program, we have a whole list of objection handling responses in our private program, but I just wanted to show you some of the common ones that we get and how we handle them, right? We're just talking, we're not gonna get pissed off, we're not gonna act immature like a 12-year-old kid, we're gonna act professional and have a conversation. Again, this is like the dating phase, right? We're asking questions, seeing what turns them on, how they practice, what turns them off, what they do like, what they don't like. We're just doing reconnaissance in these initial visits, but handling objections is key. So I just showed you these 3 here. I mean, these are very common, but I've heard it all. My members have heard them all. And if you know how to respond and have a conversation around those objections, because those objections are going to handle the pain points of the attorneys, right? You know what your pain points are. My bill's always getting cut 50%. Some attorneys, they want to steal my patient and send it to another doctor. Like you know what your pain points are, right? Understand, this is going to make you a better marketer. It's going to grow your practice if you understand the attorney's pain points. It's very important. Know what keeps them up at night. Know what makes them uncomfortable. And if you can be the solution to those issues, you're going to have a long-term relationship and be a trusted resource for that law firm, for that attorney, and get 1, 2, maybe 3 every month. So if you could generate relationships, personal injury is all about relationships. If you could generate relationships and get 30 solid relationships of attorneys that send you at least 1 a month, game over for the competition. But it takes time, it takes consistency, and it takes meeting a lot of attorneys and doctors. But 4 lunches a month ain't gonna get it, because you gotta use the power of this. So if you like what I've talked about so far, if you're enjoying the live stream, give me some likes in the comments section. Just give me some likes. Let me know if this resonates with you. Let me know if you have any questions about anything during this live stream. Okay. Hey, John, glad you're here with us. Ask a question if you have one. That's great. Okay. So those are some examples of how we handle objections. So if you're open to a call with me and you want to talk about your current situation, what you're doing now, and want some steps to improve it, type private in the comments. Type private. I'll send you a link to get on a private 15-minute call with me, and we can just have a discussion to understand what you're currently doing in the practice right now to attract cases. And then we can talk about what your goals are. Like, how many PI patients are you getting per month right now? Is it 5 to 10, 10 to 20, 50 to 60? And then what are your goals, right? And I'll help you by learning what you're doing and then give you some tips to up-level your activities, your PI profit activities, so that you can do more without having to spend any money or a whole lot of energy, because we can use the power of this guy. Oh, my son's calling me now. He's a good looking boy. I'll call him back later. All right, so type private in the comments below. I'll send you a link in a private message for a 15-minute call, just to understand your current situation and see if I can give you some tips, fill in the blanks, figure out where your blind spots are, and help you that way. So type private in the comments below. And if you have any questions, you can always ask them in the group. Just type your question in the group, go to the top, ask a question here. What's on your mind, right? Is it a marketing PI question? Hey, this happened in the market. This happened to me during a meeting. And let's discuss it. Let's use this group to help all the members. Like right now, there's 200 members. This group's only been around for a month and a half. So I'm going to try to grow it at least 100 a month. I'm going to try to grow for 500 a month, but that's kind of the pace we're on right now. But I want to elevate that pace and make this a good resource for marketing, how to handle objections, what to ask attorneys, how to get the conversation started, and methods of, in my private group, we talk about hiring, training, coaching, optimizing, tracking a marketing liaison. Well, maybe you already have a marketing liaison and you want to ask some questions about how to optimize what he or she is currently doing. Ask in this group. This is what it's for. I love this stuff. I talk to chiros, attorneys, doctors every single day. I already know all the questions for the most part, and I can help and share with you how to handle all these issues that come in your marketing and give you the best practices and best ways to handle those objections moving forward. Okay, so that's the live stream. I'm glad that you're here live. If you want, there'll be a replay. I'll put another post in there asking if you want a replay of this live stream, but we're going to be here at 4:00 p.m. Eastern every single week, Thursday afternoon, on a live stream, talking about marketing, how we build a PI practice, right? We do it by the power of social media, reaching out to 50 people a day. And then we do it by having a full-time marketing liaison dedicated to our practice. I talk to these doctors and they have liaisons, but he or she works for this office over there, this office over there. It's not the best way to do it. It's just not. Get a dedicated one. I mean, if your average PI case is $5,000 and you're paying this person $60,000 a year, that's one PI patient a month, right? You can get one PI patient a month without my help. But if you want 10 more a month or 20 more a month or 50 more a month, depending on where you are in your current situation, massive numbers and consistency with a marketing liaison and a social media plan and a process, that's what's going to get you to your goal. So type private below if you want me to give you a private link and we can have a quick phone call and figure out what we can do to optimize your current personal injury marketing. Let's do that. So I'm going to see you next week, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here in the Facebook group. The Prime Spine Consulting, helping chiropractors and pain docs at Chiropractors PI will be here every week at 4 p.m. Join me here, and we'll see you next Thursday. Have a great, safe, happy Easter. Have a safe and happy Passover if you observe that holiday. And we'll see you next Thursday, 4 p.m. right here in the Prime Spine Consulting Facebook group for more PI. Have a great weekend, everybody.